Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Block 9 podcast. Now, you may be sort of wondering, where's Mike? Uh, News has it he's washing his hair. So it's just myself tonight, the Grumpy Loyal, and my trusty assistant, my glamorous assistant, Carl, the Green Giant.
Good evening, young
for the
man.
journey of this. How you doing, Carl? How's your day been?
Yeah, all right. Christmas shopping started, almost completed in one day, so happy with that. Got it done nice and early, and then we've had
What
a
did you
little
get me?
mad.
Did you get me something nice?
I've got you another Block 9 hoodie just to match the one you've got.
Oh, result, mate.
You can wear it all the time.
Well, it's good to have you on board, mate. It's good to see you. And we could double up and make this even screened if you want. It's up to you. But fine.
We will absolutely win it.
We've got a packed program tonight, haven't we?
We certainly have.
Oh, God, that's better. I've got the two Ronnies tonight. So my name's Ronnie. He's called Ronnie as well. But we will be going into the whole subject of the fans forum, and not forgetting we're going to have the match on Saturday as well. So with the Bantams coming to Home Park, so we'll be talking great detail at the fans forum. Now I know you were there, Carl, because you were sat with me having a beer with me at the fans forum.
Indeed.
Any early views on that?
I think it was needed, wasn't it? Let's be honest with the way we've started the season. I had a funny feeling in my waters that it wasn't going to be the same old fans forum. I sense a little bit of obviously disappointment, anger that we're all feeling at the moment, the way the season started, and not just how the season started. The past 18 months have been not good enough, and I thought that night was going to be the night where people did speak up and ask proper questions, which I think happened. I'm also glad the board took responsibility and did kind of give apologies in some of the decisions they've made, which is good on their side as well, but still leaves more questions than answers, really. How did you think it went?
It was an honest show, wasn't it? And a lot of honest conversations come out. I think Mr. Hallett putting his hand up to some of the mistakes that have been made. Trying to put them right now. Welcome in if you're looking in the chat as well. So Jack Smith, welcome in. Voodoo, welcome in. Yes, I think it was the Range Christmas party the other night. I think he's got a touch of the Hoobie Doobies. Yeah, our illustrious leader Mike is not with us tonight. He's not feeling too brilliant at the minute, but we wish you all a speedy recovery, Mike. Of course, Gavin is out gallivanting again, which is good. So it's we might be joined later on by Herbie or Harvey. We haven't heard from them yet, but it's just the two of us.
They were due to come on, but I haven't heard anything back. I did send them a message saying that we might have to postpone because of Mike's illness, so I haven't heard back. So if it's just me and you, it's just me and you, mate. We'll be fine.
It's fine. The sole welcome in the fans forum was difficult to see any positives. Yeah, you're right. The fans forum was a difficult one to watch, but it was. There's a lot of honesty. That's what I liked about it. There was a lot of a bit more transparency, and I thought Mr. Hallett came across quite transparent in all he was saying, and the questions were quite high hitting. We're going to come to some of those questions very shortly, but even in Paul Bailey as well. Yeah, the two Ronnies are here. Yeah, I'm Ronnie Barker, by the way. Yeah, Carl's quite shorter than me, so he's Ronnie Corbett, right? So we're going to go on with a slide. We have got a slide deck.
We do have a slide deck.
We do have a slide deck.
If we start it from the very first, I've just left it in the last possible slide. That's very, very, very poor.
Fine, mate. Not a problem. Well, hello. Yes, so we are looking at Tom Cleverley's press conference insights. So head coach Tom Cleverley shares a perspective on recent performances, challenges, and areas of improvement, highlighting both progress and ongoing work. So looking at that performance consistency, Cleverley notes satisfaction with 8 out of 10 halves in recent games, despite some second half lapses. The focus is on extending the positive consistent periods within the matches. Overcoming mental hurdles, that is key, because I think the boys together haven't been really consistent with anything mentally recently. They've been not together, not on the same page, shall we say. So key challenges in the team are difficulty in recovering from losing positions. We've seen that quite a few times. We've gone behind, the heads have dropped, and really we've gone on to lose the game quite embarrassingly, really. It's certainly in the last 9 games or so.
Yeah, it's just finding that mental strength, isn't it? Like Tom said in a lot of press conferences and stuff. It's as soon as that first goal goes in, you should still have that fighting mentality to try, because there's still points there to play for. You know, it's only 1 goal, but when we go down to 2 goals, 3 goals, it's just we throw the towel in and we just know we're not going to get any points from it. So
Yeah, and that was notable on Saturday as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really, Carl?
yeah, exactly. And the first half was okay, wasn't it? I think if we scored with that Mumba chance, we potentially could have had a different game. We just need to get ahead in games, and we do. From what he said today and what we've seen all season, is we do seem to perform better when we take the lead. So let's hope we do that on Saturday.
So, I mean, what is good is that the team are sort of actively brainstorming for solutions. Well, this is good. So they're getting their heads together. They're thinking, where's this going wrong? Why are we getting this wrong all of a sudden? We did well sort of early part of the season, getting a few results. Why aren't we doing this now? So they're actually brainstorming that with the manager, which is good. So there's a lot of togetherness there, which is good. Scored set pieces and focus. Despite current shortage of goals, cleverly expresses faith in the squad. So he's got faith in the squad. There are good players there. We've seen that, haven't we? We've seen a collective, moments, players doing well and scoring goals. Hopefully a few more. Especially Owen Aseni as our talisman is going to be out at the weekend, isn't he?
Indeed.
Saying that, improving set piece effectiveness is an area where teams previously excel, but has since dropped as a priority. We need a set piece specialist in there, don't we?
Well, it's been a long-standing issue, I think, not just this season. For a number of years now, we haven't really had a decent set-piece specialist. Even when we had Randall and things on corners, he was never great at taking corners, was he?
Yeah.
The days of Coughlin at the back post and Paul Watton with his free kicks, we just never... Probably the last best set-piece taker we had was probably Graham Carey, which was a few years ago now, and we've not really done well with set pieces ever since then. I think with Amici now becoming fit, hopefully with his crossing ability from corners, I think hopefully we got tall players in Ross and Mitchell and good headers of the ball there. So if we can get a good delivery into them too, then I'm sure they can notch in with a few goals. And we're certainly going to need it now with Talai being out. We've got to start relying on other parts of the team to chip in now.
Yeah, and I think even to extent, you can add to that Ben Peppel as well. Ben Peppel's got presence about him. He's got height. So if the ball is going into the box, he's the target man to aim for, isn't he?
You'd like to think so, but I don't see him jump very often. That's the problem. He's quite a big guy and he's quite muscly. It's probably quite difficult to leap up at corners, but he's a good target man when he gets himself fit. But I think Aseni will step in and do okay. I mean, he's got what, 5 goals and 11 starts, which isn't a bad record, is it? Let's be honest.
Not bad. It's nearly 1 every 2 games. So he's got that presence about him. Aseni's got that presence about him as well, which is good. I think he's going to be the main goal scorer. Just coming to the comments. Andy Argar, Mr. Hallett looked fuming, didn't like the truth being told, not acceptable what's going on. Yeah, it's not acceptable what's going on. We know that and they know that. Let's move on from that. We're not going to have a sort of gallows pole out here now. Paul Bailey Hallett said he likes the stats with the facts for players. Perhaps we should use stats, facts to pick manager as well. Yeah, good point, actually. We've done well with our choice of managers.
Well, seeing as we've been a data-driven club since really... the days of Lowy and Shuey. I presume under Mueslich, things took a back seat and maybe he wanted to go down a different route, hence the change of direction of not looking at data.
Yeah.
And he admitted that at the fans forum that maybe we haven't used the data, which obviously which obviously made us successful in the past. So if we can go back to that. Clearly, they didn't look at much data in reference to Tom's second half of the season at Watford, hence why that question was asked. He's been underperforming since January this year and is the EFL's worst performing manager. So the data's there. They clearly haven't looked at that.
They haven't, no. Just coming back to a comment that went through earlier, Hallett looked uncomfortable. Yes, he did look very uncomfortable. And I think, that was right for him to look uncomfortable. I think Charlie's questioning wasn't brutal, but it was to the point, wasn't it? And what's being done about it, And
at the end of the day, I think Charlie's a fan as well, so he must be disappointed in results. And group chat, Mike said that potentially he might have had more of a opportunity to put things across more constructively, because normally he's quite he's still professional, obviously on that night, but he was more free and he was more pressing with his questioning, and he followed back with the questions as well, seeing if people were happy with the answers or do they want to come back to it. And it just seemed a lot more productive.
Yeah, nice one. And it's not all doom and gloom as we look at the next slide. The team, players, and availability. So we have got the imminent. Mike's going to be happy about this one. The imminent return of Peggy. Praised as a great leader, a great character. Yeah, he's a great character to have at the club. He fills me with a little bit of confidence having him back in the defence again. He had 45 minutes on Tuesday night away to Orient, which was good. Kept a clean sheet.
We certainly missed Pleggy in that first
Pleggy,
45. Yeah. Did you see the Lincoln game? The Leyton Orient game?
No, I didn't see it. I listened to it. I did a watch along with Mike. Mike was watching it, and I was getting his oohs and ahs when Pleggy touched the ball. So it was all,
But no, he looked like he hasn't, been away for that long. He slotted in nicely. He looked fit. He was blocking balls well. He leads from the back, and we've really missed that. And I think he should. By the sounds of it, he's going to start on Saturday, from what Tom says. So if we can get 90 minutes out of him, or the 60, 70 minutes to aid him in his comeback, then yeah, we have to start him. He's our best defender, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, 60 or 70 minutes is ideal, isn't it, really? Because especially if we go up at home, and then we can sort of build on that. What we're going to do? We're going to build on that Saturday, aren't we?
Yes, Voodoo, there's no politics tonight, mate.
No politics tonight, guys. No politics tonight. We're gonna, no rugby quotes either from Gav. Just trying to get some of the comments. Can you make the podcast 3 hours long? Oh, I don't know about that. I think mine and Carl's voices will be gone. Squad's okay. The tactics looking lost, and mental strength of the team is still by the manager. Yeah, that's quite right. Mr. Jones is out sampling some Chateau de Cabernet, I think. Peter Henwood, let's comment. Why the club hemorrhaging money? We get foolers every week. We're going to come to that later on when we come to the fans forum stuff. Back to this though, Ben Peppel's progress. The team are hopeful with Ben will be back in contention for the up and coming fixtures against Rotherham, indicating his return to full fitness is near. That's good news. We need a full fit team, don't we?
We certainly do, but by the time Ben Peppel's probably fit, Tolai will be back anyway. Yeah. So, yeah.
On the plus side, Amici is a creative player. We touched on Amici earlier on, and you said that he's going to bring something to the team with his set pieces, maybe. He's going to be available for Saturday, whether that be on the bench or not, we don't know. He's got a creative spark about him. The team which the team has been missing. He was the most creative players for the chance creation before his injury, and his return is strategically significant. There's a 20 billion black hole in our finances, apparently. Yes, do you know what's going on, Video, don't you? It's going on certain person's wine. I'm not going to mention any names, all right? But we know who has touched the red stuff on Saturdays in the platinum. Yeah, we know. Finally, Caleb Watts is back on grass again. That's great news.
That's massive news.
It is massive news. We've missed his creativity as well, and his goals. Yeah, because the last goal he scored for us was a cracker by all accounts. But he's progressed in training on the grass, and he's making positive steps to a full recovery in timeline closer to rejoining the squad. Fantastic. That is great news. Even Green Army says Steve Watts, and it's not made up. Just bedwetters, guys. Yeah, only bedwetters are in tonight. Hopefully. We had one earlier on in our life, but never mind. Julio Pleguezuela's come back. Here we go. Let's salivate a little bit. Let's talk a bit more about Mr. Pleguezuela. We have missed Pleggy. There's not beating around the bush here. He's ready to hit the ground running. Julio expresses an amazing feeling to be back, having successfully completed his rehab. I know that rehab went well. If you're watching tonight, Pleggy, we're glad you're back on grass, mate. We're glad you're back in the green shirt again. We've missed you. He's now ready to hit the ground running and acknowledging the difficulty of his injury, but embracing the part as a part of football. It is a part of football. We all pick up injuries when you play football. Yeah, not good. We got too many this season.
I'm just
regaining match sharpness. He's felt sharpness coming back and intensity in recent training sessions, feeling not out of place on Tuesday. The 45 minutes he had, his focus is maintaining his momentum and keeping it going now. Yes, we just want to keep him going back in the team there for the rest of the season, if possible. He's got respect for the up and coming opponent. So Bradford are coming to Home Park on Saturday, a very solid team, rightly placed in the table, and he anticipates a very difficult game on Saturday. Yeah, I think he's quite right there. But he assures that the team are ready for it. That's good. The togetherness is there. That mental spirit is there. They seem to be working together on the mentality, don't they? Community community heart against Argyle for Autism. Brilliant. During a recovery, Julio engaged with Argyle for Autism, a project close to his heart, and is due to his son. He found interaction at Fulston Park beautiful, enjoying the connecting with the children alongside his own son. Never knew that about Plaguey's son, but
No,
just goes to show that Fulston Park is a good
Mhm.
investment. That Mr. Hallett is doing it for the future of the club. So let's get off his back now. Sorry, go on, Carl. What were you going to say?
Yeah, just about his son. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware of the work he was doing at Folkestone Park with that. Obviously, being out injured, he would have done a lot of stuff with the community. So I think Folkestone Park is going to play a big part, not just for the academy, but for the community as well, and community projects and causes like that is always good to get involved
absolutely.
in. Yeah.
And finally, on Plaguey, he's got a positive mindset and consistency. He stresses the importance of positive attitude, especially in the tough times. We lots of tough times. I'll come to that in a minute, Voodoo. Whether you win or lose, Julio believes in the team has achieved a great consistency, avoiding overexcitement or excessive disappointments. I don't see a problem with a turn-up late protest on Saturday. Players have been doing it all season. You're a naughty man, Mr. Voodoo.
You're a naughty, naughty man.
Yes, we shall have to cut your wine for Saturday, mate, because it's
I don't want to give much time to that little group, but it was utterly, in my opinion, utterly pathetic. Yes, fans have got the right to vent in how they want, but I think there's a time and a place, and I don't think that time is now. I think we're still in that position of, if we all pull together, we will get out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simon's doing his best. I think the response he put out this afternoon was honest.
Yeah.
And I think from now on, I think they've got to get it right. I think if there's any more mistakes that happen over the coming months, then we look at it differently. But I think he's done all he can in respect to apologising and wanting to put things right. He can't just walk out the back door and let everyone get on with it. It doesn't work like that. And when people say sell the club. Yeah, that's going to take a long time, even if he does want to sell the club.
You could get to a point where you are Chancery and you're leaving Sheffield Wednesday in the lurch with points deductions and administration and what else. If you want Mr. Hallett to walk out the club, and he walks out the club, then what you're going to support? We've got no one to take over anytime soon. So let's bear that in mind, guys, and let's try to get behind the team, as Carl says. It's most important. And talking about the fans forum, we're going to go on to that fans forum now and look at it in a bit more detail. There's a lot of stuff came out from that forum that Carl and I attended. It was a good forum, a bit hostile in places, a bit prickly in times, but honest conversation came out. And yeah, the room was full of people who had opinion. Not everyone's opinion was, spotted, but we had opinions. So addressing the current challenges and the future strategy. So we're looking at why we're in this position. Why do we get in this position? Poor decisions, eroded internal processes, but have de-established the team. Despite the top six budget, our league position is unacceptable, largely due to significant internal changes. Been lots of changes during the last few months. People going elsewhere, Jimmy Dickinson and the guy going to Scotland, I forget what it's called now.
Ross Goodwin,
thanks, Carl. Ross Goodwin going to Scotland. So we've lost, some key players in our strategy for moving forward.
And Ross Goodwin was the data guy, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
So as far as I know, we haven't replaced him, or have we?
I don't know if we have.
Is that why we moved away from data, because we haven't got anybody there?
Yeah.
If anyone in the comments knows.
Add into that Tom Randall, and people will say, was Tom Randall a real figure? Was he just a hologram, like, the guy on Red Dwarf? We don't know. I'd like to think that he played his part, but the part he did play alongside David Fox with recruitment was nothing short of a shambles, really.
Yeah, it was an utter embarrassment, and for not even to come to the club. I don't know how many times he turned up at Home Park. I think maybe it was only once. I think Gavin said he saw him. You can't function like that if you've got staff that important and they're just sat online doing things. It's we need people to be in and around the club to make us better.
And there was talk about the 9 million spent, wasn't there, on transfer fees and stuff like that. So 1.2 for Talai was figured, wasn't it, or 1.4, something like that, wasn't it?
I think around 1.2. Wiradoo was about 300, and then there was a little bit of money on a Senny, wasn't there?
So that's not a lot on, bringing transfers in. We've had a lot of players coming in on free transfers as well, but we have to pay them wages. So a lot of this is gone on wages, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was around 7, just over 7 million on player wages. So then that tallies up to your top 6 budget. You've got 7 million on wages, and your free players we spent money on. So that whichever way you look at it, it was a top 6 budget, but most of that is on player wages.
Yeah, and for what we got for those wages, Carl, as well, I think we haven't got the quality that we've had in sort of previous seasons.
No. And we haven't had a fully fit squad either. So
no.
If we had a fully fit squad with not much injuries, and I'm sure we'd be doing a little bit better, and this discussion wouldn't even be happening right now.
Yeah, 100%, mate. We put players in who, by right, cleverly have said are development players. We're talking like Ben Packle, we're talking like Caleb Watts, we're talking about Aseni. All these young players that coming out of Michi, they're all development players, according to him. Derek Adams is the new data analyst. Yeah, he doesn't like data, I don't think.
Wages and agents. Yeah.
Wages and agents. Yeah, wags and agents. So what's the plan to improve this? So we're taking collective responsibility in fixing the issues and making personnel adjustments. The focus is on strengthening recruitment, overhauling the process, and making a robust decision making. So that is going to be key for January, isn't it? Derek Adams did slip up a little bit, didn't he, when he said that we've got room to bring 2 players in. And that didn't
went
go
down
too well with fans, does it?
No, he didn't really expand on that until he was pressed. Obviously, we'd probably be going in for more than 2 players, but some of he's still got loan positions to fill. We don't know if other players are wanting to leave. Obviously, there's been talk about some players being unhappy. So if players go, then obviously we replace them. So we potentially could probably still bring in 4 or 5. I don't think two is going to be the number, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're going to get some lonely players in. Some people are going to go as well, so you're going to have to replace them. Just going back to the comments, Stevie Vaughan, welcome in, Stevie. Sorry, Hallett is keeping the club afloat with benefactors. Without Hallett, we'd probably go under. Absolutely right, mate, 100%. Hallett is doing his utmost to find investors. He's doing that exactly, mate. So spot on there, Steve. We've seen Voodoo's comments. Andy, welcome in, mate. Good to hear the returning players are making good progress. Tom Cleverly also mentioned Jack Mack, who's doing well. Unleash the Mack on League One. Yeah, we need to get Mack in there playing. And Andrew Heathman, welcome in again, mate. Players, agent fees, costs. Yeah,
he's going to feel like a completely and utter new signing when he hopefully gets himself fit.
And having Pleggy returning as well, and having Amici returning just in time, really, because we've just lost Talai. We're going to have to plug the gaps at the back somehow. We're leaking too many goals, especially on Saturday. We leaked too many goals.
I don't think we're far off having really a fully fit squad. I think by Christmas or early January, I think everyone will be back bar Bradley Ibrahim. So
yeah, Ibrahim's the one that's going to miss the most. So looking at a review of the summer recruitment next. We're looking at that next slide. Thanks, Carl. So we're looking at accountability and performance. The accountability is shared across the board, which is brilliant because they're all working together. You could see that Hallett and certainly Paul Byrne were working together with Derek Adams at the Fans Forum. So we know he's brought in that experience in Derek Adams to work with them on recruitment. Paul Byrne is doing stuff behind the scenes to look at keeping our finances going. The squad performance has not met the expectations as yet, and that will happen because these development players will develop and become good players eventually. Go on, Carl. You're going to say something?
No. Sorry, I'm just checking devices backstage.
Data-led approach lapse. Departures led to a slip in our data-led strategy, resulting in underperforming squad relative to investment. Absolutely. January recruiting strategy. So January is going to be absolutely vital for us. We're going to feature more robust, experienced and scrutinized recruitment process to rectify past errors. So bringing experience in, hopefully.
Well, exactly. That's severely lacking on our squad at the moment. I know obviously Joe Rawls has come in. Obviously, we've only got him really for a few more weeks unless we extend his contract to the summer, which hopefully we do. Obviously, we haven't seen much of him yet. We saw him at Port Vale, didn't we, for the last 20 or 30 minutes, and he looked quite composed, good on the ball. Hopefully, we get to see him start on Saturday if we can, or maybe just get a bit more time in the second half. But we've got to be careful with him. But I think that's the type of player we need to go for in January. Obviously, someone that's not injured, but is around that ilk of that age, got the know-how, but hasn't got a bad injury record at the end of the day.
It's the experience. We're bringing the experience in. We noticed the experience when we bought him on. I think it was Port Vale, wasn't it?
Yeah, Port Vale, yeah.
And we brought Edwards on at the same time. So we're having those two players bringing that experience into the side and taking McCabe out of it, in a sense, bit of inexperience, replacing it with experience. It just paid dividends because we won the game.
Just going into the comments, Michael's comment, barring Tulai, who was your best signing, if any? What would be your best signing other than Tulai, Andy?
God, best signing other than Tulai. I got to say, I was excited early on in the season by Michi. He looks really good player. He's got good feet, and is confident running forward at players. So yeah, I quite like Dimitri if that's been my choice, and Caleb Watts, of course.
Yeah, obviously Caleb showed a lot of potential before his injury. I think we've probably the one we've missed the most, if I'm honest, because we didn't really see a lot of Amici before he got injured. And in some games he did look quite poor at the start, but then as a team we looked quite poor because we lost our first 4 games, didn't we? But Caleb really impressed me. Obviously Ibrahim as well, he's shown really good glimpses, I think. He's got a lot of room and a lot of space to grow. He's still very young, but I like what I see from him. He's scored a few goals. He likes a challenge. Yes, he needs to tone down on his disciplinary record of his yellow cards, but I've seen enough from him to think that he will be a good signing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have got quite a few good signings there. I just don't think they've played to their potential. If I'm honest, they're not bad players. Mitchell's shown he's a good defender in games. Ross has had some good games. As a team, we just not played well, have we?
It's been a season of inconsistency, isn't there? There's been players coming in and out this time, and there's been no settled team for more than 2 games. Successful teams will have the same team more or less every week in, week out. Craig Hervin, there's a comment earlier on about Anthony Sarcevic coming back on Saturday, potentially as well. Who's the guy right up there? Not Callum Wright, the other one. The one we had on here, Daniel. But there's 2 former players coming back on Saturday potentially.
Just Sarcevic, isn't it? Unless you count Max Power, who we signed up for the TFT tournament in America.
No, that's Tariq Wright. I was thinking of Tariq Wright actually, so I forgot his first name.
No, he's not. He's not at Bradford now, is he?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah,
is
but anyway, certainly Sarcevic is coming back, and Sarcevic is a great player. We know what Sarce is like. We know what sort of quality he's got. He's a little tiger in the middle of the field. Caleb Watts is a massive miss in the middle. Yeah, absolutely, Craig. You'd play Finn as a number 10 behind Senny. Yeah, good shout.
I personally, I think everyone knows we're quite a big lover of Tegan Finn on this pod. It's been a mystery to us why he hasn't got many minutes.
Luca or Hazard on Saturday. I'd go for Luca. Luca had a clean sheet on Tuesday night. He played well.
Totally agree. I think Luca deserves another shot in goal. Clean sheet on Tuesday. I think, why not get him back in? He seems to, his distribution looks a lot better. Pulled off some couple of good saves at Leyton Orient. I think, why not throw him back in again? I don't think Hazard's been great since he's come back.
Yeah. Interesting thought there, Steve Vaughan. There's a stat on Tulai that the fastest player to score 10 goals in the 21st century. Fantastic. And he's our player, at least till the summer. So that's exciting. Just a shame we're missing him for the next 3 matches, isn't it? Anyway, on to the January recruitment plan, focused and strategic. That's the next slide. Thanks, Carl. Our up-and-coming January recruitment window is critical for strengthening the squad and correcting past issues. We're implementing and revised strategy to ensure the optimal players, acquisition, and roster management. Wow. Strategic reinforcement. So the objective of the squad reinforcement, 2 signings are currently affordable within the budget, subject to changes from our outgoing players. That was said by Derek on Monday night. Navigating regulations, strict squad limits, loan rules will govern our recruitment, ensuring full compliance with the league requirements. Yeah, we have to watch that. I think Derek said something on Monday night, didn't he, about loan signings? You can only have, was it 6 or something?
I believe it's 5 still, isn't it?
5 or 6, yeah. So you're going to need a lot.
Obviously, at the moment we've got Mitchell, McCabe. Who's the third?
Not Rolls. It's Owen Dale, isn't it?
Owen Dale, yeah. So we've got space for 2 more. So would any of those potentially return? I think McCabe potentially. if he's not getting enough game time.
I just wonder whether McKay will actually go back to Middlesbrough. I don't think he's been as effective as people made him out to be. Thanks for joining us online. Make sure that you subscribe to the Block 9 podcast. Hit that little bell button as well, so you get regular updates on our content. Make sure you follow the Crazy Pilgrim as well, and the Grumpy Loyal, also on YouTube. So let's go on to the coach for integration. Oh, hang on, go back a bit, Carl. So I
skipped 2 there, didn't I?
Skipped 2 there. Come on. No. Head coach integration. What are you doing? Stay there.
My mouse is playing up. There you go.
Behave yourself. I can't read that fast. Recruitment will now be fully support for the head coach integrating their vision into all processes, and that's a shift from previous strategies. Expect significant player movement with both incoming signings and bolster the team and outgoing transfers to optimize the squad and budget. There was hint that there could be young players going out on loan again. We just had one player come back from loan, for goodness sake, and he's going to go and loan again, maybe.
Yeah, he commented about Hatchie in the press conference today, which, he brought him back from Taunton, wasn't it? Because he wanted to see him in the squad. Obviously, the injuries we've had, we needed another body in there. And he said he's lacking confidence, and he wants to see a bit more from him. But, he came on at Huddersfield, and didn't he play him at left back? Well, that's one way to shoot the lad's confidence, is to bring him on at left back when he's a forward player. So I don't think that personally helped his confidence, but that was down on Tom. But when we've seen him in the cup games, he's looked quite positive. So
absolutely, Michael Hawks, can you judge players on EFL trophy games, as teams always put weaker teams out? Yeah, and I know that Orient made changes, was it?
They had a lot of changes.
And
so did we. So
you can say that, but there were lots of changes on both sides. I think it's one of those those games that you just don't know what you're going to get from one week to the next. You're playing Tottenham reserves one week and then Orient, So don't know what you're getting. I think it's just getting 90 minutes under your belt, isn't it, or some minutes in. Okay, Carl, we move on to the next one.
Just quickly, this comment by Craig is a good one. I thought seeing Wiradou back in his natural position on Tuesday at Orient was a good sign. I thought he had a stable game, and I think that's where he wants to play the most. So I would like to see him start again on Saturday in centre midfield, because we didn't do his confidence any good playing him at centre back. For me, he's not really a centre back, and he did have a really poor start to the season with many mistakes and the red card and
the own goals,
the abuse he got as well, which was uncalled for. I think if you're gonna play him, you play him in his natural position, and I think we saw a bit of that on.
Right, mate. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Okay, so on to the head coach's tactical adaptability. Addressing questions about the playing styles, the head coach has consistently thrown a pragmatic approach, adapting to the immediate team circumstances. So we've got agile tactical adjustments. We're looking at the head coach has already implemented multiple changes in style and formation, demonstrating the commitment to finding the optimal approach. So we don't know actually what has actually worked for us this season. I think the earlier games, the Stockport games, was it 4-5-1 at the time?
5-4. We've played a lot of position tactically. We changed a lot of our formations, and I think for me at the moment, I think 4-4-2 seems the best option to go with at the moment, especially with Zav coming back, having a winger. I think that will suit us better.
Yeah, and we'll come to that later on. We'll look at the team later on, or Gav's team later on. I think you've got a team up as well, Carl, haven't you?
I have got a team, yeah.
We shall look at that later on. So the impact of injuries and instability. Yeah, I mean, we've just been plagued with injuries this season. Frequent adjustments were often made, an adjustment a response of injuries.
Put your teeth back in.
Yeah, put my teeth. I'm getting Mike syndrome now. Try again. Frequent adjustments were often a direct response to a string of injuries and challenges, maintaining a stable starting 11. Yeah, I mean, we've had players in and out of the team, and there's been no consistency in the playing staff, have there?
No.
Commitment to evolution. I'm more of a creationist myself, but there you go. Only recently has there been an opportunity to select a consistent lineup. The head coach remains open to further tactical shifts in the squad as it evolves. Yeah, interesting. So whoever we bring in January is going to have to then fit into this system. And it's going to feel like starting again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think whoever we bring in needs to be someone that's had a lot of game time this season, who's ready to hit the ground running, not someone who's maybe been out injured for a few weeks or hasn't had much game time. We need someone who's fit, ready, and ready to move us up this table, because we're lacking quality in certain areas, and we need them to go straight in and change things for us.
Going to the comments, Virtue Cup draw is 11:45 on Saturday. Hopefully we'll get a home draw. Hopefully we will.
Oh, that'd be nice.
To see 2 adverts back as captain. Yeah, brilliant. I hear Derek is targeting for a midfielder for January. Okay, sounds interesting.
I'm hoping using the data voodoo to target one.
Yeah, let's hope so. So addressing the recruitment limitations at the minute. So while initial plans for January and recruitment target 2 key signings, the club is actively working to expand these possibilities through strategic financial management. And the way they're going to do that is for current budget constraints. So our immediate budget is currently allows for 2 players. The acquisition, this is pragmatic, starting point, existing financial parameters and squad structure. Potential expansion. This number is subject to change. The club anticipates could become available through player outgoings or new window progresses. Wasn't there something about that in the?
Yeah. So who do we think that's in this squad at the moment that's potentially 1, unsettled, and 2, we can make, well, not make our money back, but get a sizable fee for? Who do you reckon?
People were talking about Wiradoo, that he was unsettled. I think you were right earlier on when you said he had a really bad start this season playing at centre back and conceding goals and getting blamed and getting targeted for abuse and stuff like that. So, I mean, he might be unsettled. We don't know. He's a strong character. We all know that. He bounced back and has played some good games for us, but in the wrong position. So you can't sort of pass the buck on him and put the blame on his shoulders. You know, it's a team game in the end.
Yeah.
Who else?
I think the main 2 for me would probably be your Hazards and your Mumbas. I think obviously as well, not well documented, but there's quite strong rumours in the summer that they were unhappy and maybe looking to leave. I think that's the only 2 really in our squad we can make a sizable fee for. I don't think anyone's going to pay $1 million for Mumba, if I'm honest, on current form.
No.
And Hazard would probably get a few $100,000 there for him, maybe if clubs come in, but that's the only 2 I can really think of funds wise that we'd get anything for.
I mean, Hazard is a good keeper, but he's also got his faults. So would anyone come in for him? That's a question. Mumba, not been consistent this season. There's a good player in there somewhere.
Oh yeah,
you'll know that. And I know I criticise him quite a lot as a player, and maybe I should get behind him a bit more. But he's done nothing this season to me that suggests that he's going to command a good fee if he does go.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get into the League One team in a season only a few years ago and then turn into a really poor player overnight. It's just, again, a mixture of things, isn't it? He's probably not been played in his natural position, and recent managers haven't got the best out of him. I think if he does, say, potentially link up with Shuey at Bolton, then I'm sure he'll probably rediscover his form. But yeah, we'll see what happens with them too. But that's the only 2 I can think of. Yeah,
just come to the comments again. Someone who can play CM or CB who knows the club already. We need a couple of decent forwards if possible. Yeah, there has been sort of rumours floating around that Ryan Hardy could be coming back from Wrexham. We don't know that yet to be true. He could be off to Bolton. Michael Hawks, have you got players in your team who you think playing for a move? Are they good or bad form? Yeah, we just touched on Mumba really and Hazard. What players do you think will be casualties and offloaded in January? What I think, Steve, from the fans forum on Monday night, that certainly some of the youngsters will be going out on loan somewhere. I've got a feeling that Isaka is going to be at Bristol Rovers on loan this season, unless they call him back and put him somewhere else because he's not getting a game time.
I think he got some minutes in the Virtue. I think he won a penalty as well, but yeah, he hasn't, since he's gone there, he hasn't really had much game time at all. So unless we bring him back and send him somewhere else.
I mean, if you're a young player like that, you want to play football, don't you?
You'd imagine so. And he was a massive talent coming up through the ranks. And we really haven't, I don't know if it's an error on our part as a club that we haven't done the best move for him for his career, because he's been around the club for a long time now. And we didn't really give him a lot of opportunities, and we sent him out to Bristol Rovers and he hasn't really started well there. But Yeah, there's got to be a player in there somewhere. You don't get called up for your country if there's nothing there.
You're right, mate.
Yeah.
Just going to the comments. Mumba doesn't look interested at times, but there is a player in there. Yeah, we just said there's a player. There is a player in there. That's just it. That's what's frustrating about Mumba. There's a player there, a really good player, but he's just not performing to his capabilities at the moment. So, I mean, maybe a move away from home park is on the cards for him. Don't know. Let's move on, Carl, because we are 45 minutes in already.
Indeed. We're not doing too bad. We're still going.
So January plan, clarity amidst the market realities. So clear strategic direction. The club has defined January plan of identifying specific positions and player profiles to target for reinforcements. That's good news. That means Derek's already looking at that. He's already got players targeted. Navigating market dynamics. However, the execution of this plan is contingent upon market realities, including player availability, optimal timing for transfers, and overall affordability. Once the transfer window officially opens, that's going to be coming very, very soon, though, isn't it? The transfer window, everyone's going to be out for everyone.
Indeed, it's not an easy window, January window, is it? Because you've got so many players still in contract, and it's like Derek said, it's not as easy as you think it is. Like that question that said, "Oh, you should have your targets already in your mind." Yes, you should do, but until the time comes and you speak with all parties, it's very difficult to know what you can actually afford and what you can actually get until you hit the window. So I'm sure they've got targets in mind, but we just need to be patient and wait, and hopefully we get them in quite quickly.
Yeah. Going to the comments, Christopher Barnard, any relation, Carl?
You're my dad, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Get on, lads. Rolls and Weredu to start. Yeah, sounds good. I like the idea of Roll starting and certainly Weredu in right positions. Hazard and Mumba wanted to leave in the summer. Could see them both going in January. Weredu's family were at Argyle on Tuesday night, apparently, and they said he's enjoying it. Oh, wow, that's good news. If he's enjoying his football and he wants to play football for us, that's great, because he was a captain at Fleetwood, and he was a very good captain at Fleetwood, and they were reluctant to let him go. But thankfully, we've got we've got a decent player there, a bit like Mumba. There's a player there who can play football. He must be if he's a captain of a club. But anyway, moving on.
We just need to unlock the potential there. Obviously, he came highly rated from Fleetwood, and we seemed quite excited when we signed him. There's a lot of fans raving about Weredu. So it's just again playing him in his natural position, getting some confidence and some wins, and again mentality's changed, don't they?
Definitely. So investment strategy, first team v infrastructure. This is going to excite a few people. Infrastructure. We love the infrastructure, don't we?
We do. We love it.
Yeah. So addressing concerns about resource allocation, our strategy prioritizes both immediate first team performance and long-term club sustainability through strategic infrastructure investments. Honest, like Rachel Reeves. I'm getting
no politics, Gav. No politics.
He's being a naughty boy tonight.
100 lines. 100 lines.
100 lines. So first team investment, top tier. Our first team budget is maintained at the top 6 level, backed by long-term revenue generating investments that secure sustained competitiveness. Folston Park, separate funding. So yeah, this was highlighted, wasn't it, on Monday night, that there was money actually earmarked for Folston Park, and that was from the shareholders. Had nothing to do with Simon Hannett, who's put money into the club. We all know that. The funding for Folston Park was ring-fenced, specifically allocated for the infrastructure. Distinct from the first team budget, it was never or either a choice. So
on that then, how long ago would they have ring-fenced that money? Would it have been? And how long did the development take to build? It was a couple of years, wasn't it?
It's a couple of years. So Folston Park's been talked about now for a couple of years, and and I know that from Greens on Screen, guys, go and look at Greens on Screen, another great site, Argo-related site, and look at the development there of Folston Park. It has gone on quite quickly, I think, and it is being done fairly well. So just get over there and have a look at that, and you'll see what Folston Park's all about. Even the haters, go over and have a look at it. Future-proofing and development. This investment is crucial for generating future operational savings and significantly enhancing our player development pathways, aligning with our long-term vision for the club. So, yeah, we talked about this a while back, didn't we, in one of our live lounges? Gav was saying about short-term investment for long-term gains, right? So those short-term investments in Folkestone Park, right? So they're big investments, right? But the long-term gains from Folkestone Park are going to be good for the club in the future. We know this. And we know there's going to be an academy there. We know there's going to be facilities there for young players to come down to make it more an attractive appearance for, attractive. What's the word I'm looking for, Carl?
Attractive proposition.
That's the one, yeah, and that.
That's a big word. That's a big word for me.
It is a big word. It's a big word for me. That's why I couldn't say it, I think. So that sort of short-term investments are going to benefit the club massively in the long term. So I think Argyle in the future are in good hands. We're still, in a position where we're not sort of spending money hand over fist. That will be how we are going to make a loss this year, and Paul Byrne did state that on Monday night. But it's down to us to put that right, and that's what they're going to do behind the scenes. That's where Hallett and Paul Byrne are doing, alongside Derek Adams with recruitment. So it's going to be the future's going to be bright for us. Andy Price, I won't visit Folkestone Park until the first team is where they should be. Yeah, good point, Andy. Yeah, and people are divided in this, aren't they? They're divided on the opinion that the money should have gone into the first team.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, whenever they decided to ring fence that money and go down that route, they still would have had a choice at that time whether to do the infrastructure or invest it in the first team. And it's at that time, we probably would have been going up from League One, maybe.
Yeah, I think
so we're in a different position when decisions were taken, and I think it's just coincided with our bad time now, where this has come out and it's not the right thing to do. It should have been put into the first team. Well, if you weren't investing in infrastructure, then people would still be moaning, unhappy that we're not planning for the future. So, it's done. It's there for the future. If we have to suffer for a couple of years because of it, then so be it. But like you said, short-term investment for long-term gain. And if we can bring the odd player through here and there that we can sell on, like Simon alludes to his player trading to make us millions, then so be it.
So I mean, we were looking at this, quite recently, weren't we? We were talking about the infrastructure and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's important that we have that in place, and it was talked about when Shuey was here, because when we got promotion to the champ, right, everything was rosy. We were on the crest of a wave. It looked as though we were going to stay there. We had a new manager in Rooney. It was the wrong choice in the end. I think that's where it went wrong. We made the wrong choice of manager then. If
it went wrong ever since we hired Foster, and it went wrong potentially where we went for Muslich instead of going back to Schumacher. But
so we said the other night, Carl, didn't we? If Muslich had kept us up and we spent another year in the champ, then we still got the financial gains from Sky TV and the games, being shown on TV.
Yeah. I still think, looking back, Muslich probably in hindsight was the best choice.
He was, yeah.
He did turn it around, and I think if we had another couple of games, he would have kept us up. But I still think, regardless,
these are the decisions that the board made. They made the wrong choices at the wrong time, so they effectively turned the club into what it is now, going back down the leagues again. We don't want them to go down again this season. We want to stay up and dust ourselves down and rebuild next season, if you like. And that's what's going to have to happen. But we need the fans' support for that as well. And the fans have got to be united. I mean, we talked about it earlier on, didn't we? About this protest. We don't need a protest. Just get along and support the boys. And the lads on the pitch will only perform if you get behind them. And I know the fans will say, yes, we were there on a Tuesday night at wherever, losing 2-0, 3-0. We were there. We did that. So I get that totally. But if you're a supporter, you're a supporter in my eyes. And I will still support the team, even though it's difficult. Anyway, Michael Hawks, don't you get parachute payments from the championships? We did the time the club needed that. Still got points deduction. I don't know if you do. I think you get it from the Prem.
You get it from the Prem. I don't think you get it from the championship.
I think Luton got it because they were the former Premiership club. And I think you get 2 lots of parachute, don't you? I think
they had back-to-back relegation, so they still would have had parachute payments. So I think it's for 3 years you get parachute payments. So that's probably why, or maybe he thinks we get it from the championship. But yeah, Luton would still get it for, I think, even next season as well, wouldn't they? It's 3 years.
It's possible. Yeah. I don't know how it works, mate, to be honest. Okay, so let's move along to the next slide, please, Carl.
Oh, hello. Are you joining for tonight's pod as
well? Hello, Sophie. I miss you, Sophie. And Justin Mike's watching tonight. I miss you, Michael. Good to see you. And it's a private joke.
No, don't put his blood pressure up.
So, Tom Cleverley, the right choice as head coach? A question mark, big question mark. The club confirms it believes Tom Cleverley as the head coach. So, yeah, they're standing behind them. They're backing him, aren't they? They're outlining a strategy focused on bolstering support rather than seeking immediate change. The decision is rooted in alignment with the club's culture and future vision. Do you know, I'll say it again. I think Cleves is a good manager. I'm going to get pelters for that, probably. If you want to leave now, you can do. No, don't leave, please. I think he's a good young manager. He needs that support. He needs a little bit of experience beside him, which is probably why they brought Derek Adams in to sort of oversee that. Any DRF in that role is going to help the manager, and it's not. I thought he was going to initially undermine him, but I don't actually think that's going to happen. I think that's the case. Qualities and alignment. Cleverly is viewed as a young, ambitious, and deeply aligned with the club's long-term cultural objectives and vision. That's good. That's what you want. You want someone who's going to be on the same page as your board. Strategic support, not replacement. Yeah. Despite recent results, the club's strategy involves adding experience, support structures around him, and enhancing the existing coaching team. He's got a good coach beside him, actually, Damon Laythorpe, hasn't he? He's a really good coach.
Yeah, some good coaches behind him, and obviously we still got Nance here. Obviously Joe Edwards is doing his badges or done his badge, so we've got plenty of talent on the bench. We just need to try and support Tom as much as we can. I think Derek coming back is the right decision.
Definitely.
I think since he's come back, I think we can see a slight improvement in the way we've played. The first half against Northampton was okay, and at Orient we were okay, and both in the first 45 and the whole 90 at Orient, it felt a lot more like a Derek Adams performance.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah, so I think he's made an improvement in way that Cleverly's looking at games now.
So when that's showing that commitment to stability, changing managers at this juncture is not seen as a solution. I don't think it's the right solution. If we chop and change managers, we just become Watford else, don't we? The focus is on stability and providing the necessary resources for improvement. And I think that's what the board now have put their hand up and say, yeah, we're going to do that now. We're going to right the wrongs, if you like. We've made too many mistakes in the last 18 months. Let's put it right. Let's fix it. Whatever it takes to fix it, and to put those people in with Tom, like Derek Adams, and if needs be, Foxy has a better role in that. We don't know what Fox's role is, but if his role is in helping that as well, then let it happen.
I think that being said, we're still at that very edge now. We're still at that tipping point. If we lose again on Saturday and it's another horror show, there's going to be a time where they're going to have to bite the bullet and make a change, because there's no signs of improvement. Yes, we saw a little bit on Tuesday, but I think at the end of the day, if results don't improve and we're still struggling coming to January, then these moments seem to happen quite close to windows. It's the same with Rooney. We didn't give him the window. Would he have turned things around?
Yeah, and the last three managers we've had over Christmas, we've had people leaving at Christmas, and it's just thrown us into the mixer. And I think, I'm looking at Dave Tom's comment now. I'm talking crap. You want a coach who is able to sort of, come in and do a different job. Maybe I don't know what you were trying to say there, but you want experience. Yeah, of course we want experience. And Tom Cleverley has experience. He's not, there have been times, and it was said at the forum, the guy said he's the worst for form in the last 12 months with Watford and Argyle, and he's absolutely right. You only sort of learn your job as a manager by getting things right or wrong, and we've got a lot of things wrong. So we could, absolutely, we could have someone different. We could have Paul Cook in there, but Paul Cook could upset the apple cart. We could have Pep Guardiola in there, and you might not get the best out of the players.
I think that's why we said, or I said earlier, that the January transfer window, we need players to come in extremely quickly, and we need them to hit the ground running, because if they don't, then you can't leave them much later. If again results are still struggling in January, then you're going to have to bite the bullet quite quickly and try and save the second half of the season and get someone in that's got the experience. But I'm hoping that's not the case. He's a great guy. I know Simon kept saying he's a great guy. Yes, great guys don't get you results at the end of the day.
The thing with the past three managers, right? Wayne Rooney, right, and managed at three different clubs. Yeah. not very successfully, but we still brought him in. That was a mistake that Simon Hallett put his hand up to. Okay. And then we had Ian Foster. Ian Foster was in that same ilk. We brought him in because of experience with England and international players. That didn't set right for us because he wasn't a man manager. All right. Then you had Miro Muslic, who did a half decent job with what he had, but it was too late. They brought him in too late. They should have sacked the previous manager before that a lot sooner. And bringing him in was a good move for us because he nearly kept us up. And then he went off. So
it seems to me Simon and the board were concentrating more on their personality tests than actually data on results. Because obviously they said the same with Rooney. He's a nice guy, blah blah blah, but his managerial record was extremely poor. And when you look at Tom Cleverley's managerial record, yes, it's been extremely poor. Yes, he's a nice guy, but like I said, nice guys don't win you football matches. But yeah, we've seen the odd glimpse. I still feel for him in a way that he hasn't had a fully fit squad. I still believe if we had all these players playing week in week out, then we wouldn't be up there fighting for promotion. I don't think, but I think we'll be mid-table.
It'd be a lot easier to watch.
Knocking on the top 10. We got quality in the squad. They just need to kick. They need to kick on. They need to try and find some confidence from somewhere. Because individually, I think we've seen the quality from these players. Definitely. As a team, they need to wake up and try and do something for the manager.
We touched on it earlier on, didn't we? I think what people are forgetting is that we've had an inconsistent squad all season. We haven't had the same team for more than 2 games, and you need that stability. You need those players playing together regularly, and if you're not getting that, it doesn't matter if you're Pep Guardiola and you have to chop and change the team all the time, and you're not. You know what I mean?
You are Paul. You are Paul.
You are nice. Yeah, you are nice, Paul. Anyway, let's move along, Carl.
We are. This is the next slide.
Over an hour in. Mike's probably going to sleep now for us wittering on. Head coach selection, why inexperience wasn't a barrier, right? So the decision to appoint Tom Cleverley as head coach was a deliberate one, prioritizing a long-term vision and club alignment over traditional metrics of experience. Our history demonstrates that success is solely defined by the manager and his prior roles, right? So experience isn't everything. Managerial experience alone doesn't guarantee success. We all know that. We believe that coach's vision for adaptability and ability to connect with the club's culture are equally, if not more, important. Absolutely right. You can't have someone coming in who doesn't want to play your style of football. We had this. This is where Shuey came in the first time. He had adopted the sort of role that the board had, and we want to play this style of football. Let's implement it and play it, and he did. And then it chopped and changed when Rooney came in, and likewise. So things change all the time. So the proven club model, our club has been successful track record with less experienced managers, citing previous tenures like those of Lowe, Schumacher, who achieved significant milestones. We all know what Lowe and Schumacher did when they came to the club. They took us from League Two back out to League One, and consequently, Shuey took us up to the Championship. It was great. So long-term fit and potential. The appointment was based on Tom Cleverley's deep understanding of the club, leadership potential, and his alignment with our long-term strategies, objectives, and cultural values. So there you go. So the person that say I'm talking crap, this is what's all about. You're making that appointment based on Tom Cleverley's deep understanding of the club's leadership potential, right? And then it's in alignment with the long-term strategic objectives and cultural values. So anyway, there we go. Orient just put a second 11 because they have a game on Friday. Yeah, fine. So what? They put a different team.
Like I said earlier, we made quite a few changes as well.
Yeah,
and players going back from injury. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
It swings and roundabouts. It's game time in the end. Yeah, they have a game on Friday night. Big deal, So we've got a game on Saturday morning. You're supposed to appoint a director of football, then a head coach, then we're all over the shop. So addressing our injury challenges, right? So the recent surge of player injuries is critical concern for the club. The multifaceted view is underway, spearheaded by the head of coach to understand the underlying causes to implement lasting solutions. So Training method reviews, a deep dive into our current training methodologies, even, and practices to identify areas for optimism and injury prevention. So, what's happening on the pitch on, Monday to Friday when they're training, we're picking up a lot of injuries during training sessions, aren't we? Is that because the players are going in too hard? I don't know. Is that what they've been told to do? Or have we got a coach out there who doesn't know what he's doing with it?
No, I think it's a mixture of things. I think the playing surface isn't a problem. I think the playing surface is as good as Home Park's playing surface, as far as I know. So I don't think the pitch is at fault. I think it's just a mixture of, one, we're signing injury-prone players, and two, we're severely lacking in the physio department. Because I think ever since Elliot Turner left us, I don't think I can think of many injuries at all when Elliot Turner was here. But since he left, under Rooney and under Cleverley, the injury record's been absolutely tragic. And I think there's got to be a link there somewhere. Obviously, they've done an internal investigation. We won't know the results of that until maybe in a few weeks' time. I think Simon did say at the forum we're going to be hiring some more staff, didn't he, in regard to certain areas of the club. So, yeah.
It does make you question the guy that does the training at the minute. I mean, didn't he come down from Exeter or something?
Yeah.
Could be sort of putting the mockers on us this season. So player history and analysis, detailed examination of individual players' injuries, histories, and physical profiles to tailor conditioning programs and manage the loads effectively. Now, you just said, Carl, about players, signing injury-prone players. Ibrahim is not prone to injury, and yet he's picked up a really bad injury. So
same with Jack McKenzie. I think over the last 3 or 4 years at Aberdeen, he's barely been injured. Comes here and he's had injury after injury after injury. But I suppose that's just the bad luck this club's going through at the moment with injuries.
I mean, he had a fight with a chair at Aberdeen, didn't he, as well?
He did.
Someone threw a chair at him, and he headed it back. A bit like
down scar on his bricks.
So head coach strategies role. The head coach was specifically brought in to provide fresh analysis and spearhead the implementation of robust data-driven improvements across all these areas. So, they need to address this injury crisis because, as you say, we're picking up injuries all over the place at the minute, and we've got Ibrahim out for quite a while now. Thankfully, we've got people like Watts coming back on grass now, Pleggy's back, and Amichi's back. So they're going to be like new signings, as you say, Fantastic. Right, should we shuffle on to the next one, my friend?
We shall shuffle on. We're just over an hour in, Andy. We're doing all right here. We're doing all right.
So we are rebuilding trust, a clear path forward. Now, people will say that we need to build trust because there's been a lot of silence from the board recently, haven't there? There's been not a lot of transparency. Mr. Hallett has kept his head firmly under the parapet, keeping out of trouble. But he was open at the fans forum. And he was open to a lot of criticism, rightly so. People will say that he should leave the club. I don't see what that's going to do for Argyle, apart from us lose a lot of money with no investor. But anyway, trust between the fans and decision makers are essential, absolutely essential. We're all on the fence at the moment, aren't we? There's a lot of people who want him to go. There's a lot of people who are happy clapping away. And saying that he should stay. So, I mean, where do you stand on this, Carl? What are your thoughts on should he stay? Should he go?
Should he stay or should he go? No, I think most of the fan base are in alignment that I think we've come to the end maybe of his tenure. He probably knows that deep down that I think once the right investment comes in, he's going to have to seriously consider it. Whether that's a full takeover straight away or like a shares agreement where they come in and we have a look at each other, and if he's happy then he sells the club to them, because the last thing we want is a Chansiri taking over or what's his name, Todd Gardner back in the New World era that we were going down with the Americans and the World Cup bid and all that rubbish.
Administration, I remember that.
But I think he really needs to maybe adjust some of his terms, because not every potential investor is going to want to do exactly like how Simon's run it. So there needs to be some, what's the word?
Got to be some give, hasn't there? In some ways,
there's got to be some give, because
Simon doesn't want to.
Nobody wants to do things like the previous owners done it. And if the new owners want to put potential more money into the team than infrastructure, then so be it.
So improving the rigor and precision, implementing enhanced scrutiny, critical evaluation in all club decisions, fostering greater accuracy and accountability to make for every choice made. You've got to be together. You got to be on the same page. At the top, you've got to be on the same page. I think this was a problem with Mr. Parkinson, wasn't it? I don't think he was on the same page. He was getting a lot of his stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. It's politics. Return to data-led strategy. Re-establish strong evidence-based approach in strategic planning, recruitment, and daily operations to inform and validate key decisions. When you make a key decision at a club where you bring in a manager or you bring in another player in, you've got to get that spot on, haven't you? And we haven't got it spot on in the last 18 months or so.
Well, so again, it's not learning from your past mistakes. I think it was from going to Foster. At the time it was a risk because it was his first club in management. We took a risk with Shuey. That worked. We thought we were doing the same thing with Ian Foster, but obviously he did an interview recently, didn't he, where he came out and said that he never applied for the job. So clearly that was a Neil Jusnip sticking his beak in to try and get that one over the line to maybe try and sell the club to him, and then to go from a tenure like his where he wasn't really well liked, that the football was awful. He turned the fan base quite quickly, and then to go into a merry-go-round of Wayne Rooney was just utter suicide. And I don't know why we did that. I think we know potentially why Simon did it, maybe to get a bit of media hype around the club, maybe to try and find potential investors. Which never happened, did it? So
it was a PR stunt went wrong, wasn't it?
It was a PR stunt, but regardless of what he says, I still think personally it was a PR stunt that went horribly wrong. You do not hire Wayne Rooney to get you match results. There's just no way.
I mean, there was all that talk about the sort of documentary and all that sort of stuff going to bring money our way, and it just didn't happen, did it?
Again, they took their eye off the ball. Looking at documentaries, just get the stuff right on the pitch. We don't need documentaries. We're not
Wrexham, do we? I mean, Wrexham have already done that, got the T-shirt. So the last point here, we've got to avoid repeating mistakes. Absolutely. We've made too many mistakes in the last few months. Actively analyze and learn from the past errors, implementing safeguards to prevent repetition of previous unsuccessful strategies or decisions. We don't want to go down that route again where we appoint someone who's not good enough for the job. Some people may say that already. We've done that with Cleverly. We'll have to wait and see. At the moment, we're in a position where if we sack him, we're going to have to, pay his fees. We haven't got that money there to pay him and his backroom staff. The best thing for Argyle all round is if he walks, and so.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't sack Rooney, did we? He walked and didn't want the payoff. So I'd like to think Cleverly, if he knew himself, he wasn't going to be able to turn this around, and he didn't want to put the club through more turmoil. Then I would like to think, being a nice guy, he would do exactly the same and walk away. It's not exactly, again, he needs the money, and I'm sure 6 months down the line he'll find himself another job. But I think in the ideal world, if things continue, then we either grow some balls and sack him, or he walks. And like I said, whether we go down the route of finding someone else or we ease Derek back down into the dugout, I don't know. I wouldn't be totally against it, but yeah.
It's interesting you said that, because I spoke to Simon Hallett on the way out on from the fans forum, and I sort of said, we've got a situation now where Talai is going to be out for the next 3 games. What if we lose those 3 games and the fans turn completely on Clevs and he walks? What then? And says, well, just as well I'd employ Derek Adams. So I don't know if that was tongue-in-cheek or not, but it might be to the point that he has brought him down for that very reason. We shall have to wait and see. Hopefully that's not the case, and I hope we can turn it around and see how we get on. Anyway, on to the next one, Carl. So we're going to revisit our 5-year ambition reality check. So the 5-year plan's not gone to plan, really. We haven't we haven't become a championship club and stayed up there, sustainable championship club. That was the aim. And I think if we'd been in a position where we'd stayed in the championship, then maybe the infrastructure would pay for itself and we could still get things done on the pitch as well. So we'd have the money there for the transfers.
Yeah, I think the 5-year plan in theory was okay. I just think the Premier League aspirations, like he said at the fans forum or in his chat this afternoon, that it was bold. Of course, it was bold. I think being a sustainable championship club isn't out there, but I think to talk about Premier League,
that's
way off.
I'd rather stay mid-table in the champ for a few seasons. Keep the money coming in. Keep the infrastructure building, build the academy, and then everything falls into place. As a club, and I think that's what Hallett's vision was. To be in the championship, to get regular income coming in from Sky and revenues and gate receipts and stuff, and all the shirt sales and stuff.
Yeah, I think we just went up too soon. I don't think we were expected to go up that season. I think if we, got up to the championship, last season or this season, then things might have been a bit different. But I think we got to the championship too quick, and we weren't ready, were we? Let's be honest.
Yeah, just go to the comments. Argyle will be fine. Seen this coming last summer. Always going to be a reset button season. Yeah, of course there was. Yeah, but that side, it's been far poorer than expected. Yeah, absolutely right, Stevie. Ibrahim out for 12 to 14 weeks. Michael Hawkes, except Hardy. Who would you like to see in the door? Argyle transparency is good. We have it now, and definitely refreshing. Who would you like to see in the door in January, Carl?
To be honest, I haven't got a clue. Just someone that's got League One experience, isn't coming back from a serious injury, someone that can hit the ground running, like I said earlier, just someone that can get this club moving on the field. I don't want any young loans unless they're really, really high regarded in some way. But no, we just need someone that's been there and done it.
I'll tell you who I'd like is that guy Tom Eaves that scored against us on Saturday.
Yeah, Tom Eaves is a good lower league striker.
He's a gangly striker, but he knows where the back of the net is. He scores against us all the time. And if we had him in our team, he wouldn't score against us, would he? Not too wise. We missed the diamond. Just being sensible. What that means. But anyway, where did we get to? The core goal endures. The fundamental objective, becoming a sustainable championship club, remains paramount. Though this achievement has become more and more challenging. It has become more and more challenging because of our position. The investment gap, achieving Premier League ambitions necessitated significant external investment, which has not been secured. Again, I think if we stayed in the championship, and those investors were, I believe, we were talking about this last year. I think those investors were close if we stayed in the champ. And I think they saw our league position at the bottom of the league, struggling. And all of a sudden, well, hang on, they're going to be a League One club now. I'm not going to invest in that. You can understand that. You want to invest in a club that's going to do something and provide entertainment. And we weren't providing entertainment there.
Yeah.
EFL challenges. The true financial sustainability within the English Football League structure presents inherent and significant challenges for clubs. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. It's a heck of a challenge. People can make these plans, but if they haven't got the money, I mean, look at Sheffield Wednesday now. They're in the right state now. They've got another hit of points coming up soon. I think it's another 5 points deduction. They've already got
they've had 18 altogether.
18 point deduction already. They're well adrift at the bottom of the league. It looks like they're going to get relegated this season.
It's just a shame he went down last season. I think if he survived, I think we would have been absolutely fine this coming season, because obviously with Sheffield Wednesday with that points deduction, Norwich have been honking all season. Portsmouth haven't had a great start. Obviously Sheffield United started poorly, but have picked up now. But Oxford struggling. I think it was a killer to go down last season. It really was.
If we had stayed up, Hardy might have stayed, Randall might have stayed. We just don't know, do we? But anyway, something is not right at the club, and it's going to be put right. So don't worry, folks. Just don't cry in your bed or wet your beds or anything. Right, on to the next one, Carl.
Let's be candid.
Sorry. So new investment, openness and opportunity. So we've just talked a little bit about new investment. Ownership has provided clarity on prevention for new investment, confirming that both past interests and future possibilities, while maintaining strict adherence to the club. So the strict investment criteria, despite previous interest, offers were respectively declined as they did not align with the club's core values and long-term visions. We talked about this earlier on, these long-term visions. This is why Cleverley is the head coach at the club, because he has those long-term visions in his mind. So the partnership that will truly benefit Argyle if we got someone who agrees with this. And Simon doesn't want anyone just coming in, to buy his, buy him out, if you like, and then all of a sudden get bored of the club and change the whole ethos of the club. We just don't know who we're going to get if we get major investors unless we know that we can trust them 100%.
But on the flip side, there's the potential of getting someone that we do want, someone that's going to invest money and still have that, criteria that Simon wants. It's not just all bad owners all the time. There are some good people out there.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. It's trying to find those people though, isn't it? We've got three major players in Plymouth. Princess Yachts, one of them. Wrigley's Mars is another one. We got a certain Mr. Dawson who Mike's going to hypnotise and tell him to invest in Argyle.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Don't think it is, but it's a shame that the big three in Plymouth, would invest in a football club. Small change to them, isn't it?
It just seems strange why we're just so fixated with America. America's not the only country on this planet. There's got to be other countries, other investors out there. So hopefully this what's it called? The bank. What did he call it in the fans forum? The bank, the bank people that are looking for investment. What's the word I'm looking for?
Infrastructure. I don't know.
the people that he's hired to look for investment.
Oh,
the banks. Yeah. I can't remember what you said.
Someone will tell us in the comment section. Yeah. But yes, I don't know where I was going with that. You lost me there, Carl, for a minute. Retrain the brain, Laidlaw. Come on, wake up. Yeah. So, your investment. Cheers. So our robust infrastructure, especially investing in Fulton Park, significantly enhances the club's appeal to potential investors. That is correct. If you've got decent facilities here, you're going to. That's where I was going with it. So the comment that came out from the fans forum on Monday night was saying that if
that's the one, investment bank. Thank you, Steve.
I knew Steve Vaughan would be there. He's just done.
He's just always there, Steve. Always there.
If we were up in the Premiership, for instance, then you got a good chance of someone coming in from like Saudi coming in, buying a club. He did mention that someone came in to buy Carlisle United, didn't they? But a bit like Argyle, Carlisle's in the arse end of the country. It's so far from anything. There's no airport down here. I don't think there's an airport in Carlisle. Might be wrong. But you've got to have something in place which is going to be easy accessible for a businessman flying in, say, from America or Saudi. If you're coming into Plymouth Airport and then you've got a good football club here in the Premiership, then it's gonna be more an enticing carrot to dangle, isn't it? But if you're in sort of League One, at the bottom of League One, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to get investors.
So the answer is, Andy, really open the airport, isn't it?
Open the airport, yeah. Someone come in and buy the airport, right? I'll tell you what, if you don't want to buy our football club, Mr. Dawson, Plymouth Airport, right? We need an airport in this city. Fly our players to the games instead of going to Exeter. Anyway, look into Scottish football, football league. Sorry, Scottish league football players, and they would jump at a chance. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ryan Hardy, absolutely right, Ruby and me. Ryan Hardy was up in Rangers. He started his career in Rangers before going to Blackpool, and we snapped him up from Blackpool. So he started up there. We've had players up there. Graham Carey has played up there before, isn't he? Greg Wild, we took one of those players back. By the way.
We've had some good players from Scotland over the years. Also, we've had some terrible players from Scotland, but I'm sure that's a market that Derek would know with the back of his hand. So let's hope he can find some wee nuggets, as Luggy would say.
Yeah, I mean he's got good experience up there with Ross County, isn't he? And Livingston, I believe he was there for a little while, wasn't he? And he was touted for the Aberdeen job before he left for Fleetwood, I think.
And obviously we got Jack McKenzie in, and obviously you have Senny who's playing up in Scotland, so you must have some good contacts up there.
Oh, Carl's gone, so I'm on my own now, guys. Hello, it's the Grumpy Loyal Show. Welcome to the Grumpy Loyal Show. You'll be glad to know that Mike is resting up at the minute. He's not feeling too well at the minute. Carl's just gone, I don't know, to wash his hair probably. And so I'm here talking about investments. So I'm going to carry on. Oh, he's back again.
I have no idea what happened there. Sorry.
What did you do there, mate?
No idea.
I was trying to hold the fort, So flexible investment models. Ownership remains open to various investment structures, including a full-scale or bringing in a minority investor with potential to grow into a majority role, ensuring adaptability and securing capital. I mean, Simon did say that he's 70 now, isn't he? He doesn't want to be in football for a lot more, where the stresses it's got.
Why would you want it at that age of your life? 70. Just do your hardest to try and find this investment and try and leave as much as possible on a good note before it turns really, really sour.
Do you know, if you're in a job, right, and you've got fans confronting you because you're sat in a grandstand, and you're getting someone coming up to your face and giving you grief to your face as the owner of Plymouth Argyle Club, you're going to be pretty embarrassed, aren't you? And you're going to want to walk away from this. It's going to be hard to take that, because he has put a lot of money into the club, like it or not, like him or not. He's kept us afloat as a football club. So I'm going to end that argument there by saying that whether I was on the fence on Monday night, but I thank Simon Hallett for that. And if I get pelters for that as well, give me the pelters. Bring it on. I'm not on TikTok tonight, Grumpy. No, I'm not. I'm here, Steve. I'm doing the right thing as the host of this fine show, the Block 9 podcast. Okay, Carl, let's move on to the next one, mate. Before you leave me again. So current financial landscape looks a sobering reality. Yeah, it is a very sobering reality. So our financial position this year is significantly worse than projected, necessitating a critical reevaluation of spending and renewed focus on long-term sustainability. We touched on it earlier on, didn't we, Carl, about the wages for the players. 9 million, the top six budget has been spent. Most of that's gone on wages and not playing staff. So, that's the argument. We have a top six budget, and it has been spent.
It just hasn't probably been spent as wisely as it should have been.
Yeah. So unforeseen deficit. This year's finances are sustainably worse than anticipated, marked by higher operational costs, reduced revenues, and multi-million-pound losses. That is evident. We're making a loss this season, big loss, because of coming down from the Championship, losing the rights to Sky Football games on TV and stuff. All that money that Sky bring, I think it was like 14 million for every club last season. Ridiculous. We've lost that 14 million. We've just lost in revenue because attendances were going to go down soon. We've still got season ticket holders there who are not turning up. It wasn't full on Saturday for the Northampton game. Shareholder intervention. While shareholders will cover the immediate deficit, this large financial support is not sustainable long-term solution for the club's future viability. That is a big alarm bell, isn't it? Shareholders are doing everything they can to keep the club going, to cover the deficits and stuff. So there's only so much money they're going to have, isn't it?
Well, there's not a bottomless pit of money, is there? You can't just keep giving loans after loans after loans, even if the interest rates are very low. It's come to a point where you just can't do anymore.
Yeah, and sadly, you end up like Exeter, and you become a fan run, and we don't want to become a fan run club, because our fans at the moment are split on decision making and support, and rightly so. People will say they have a right to boo. Yeah. I left the match early on Saturday. We were 2-0 down. Didn't want to see any more of it. I'd had enough. So I get it. I totally get the fans' reaction. In hindsight, that probably didn't help the club or the team, because they went on to concede another goal. They weren't supported. It's so difficult in an atmosphere to get yourself going, isn't it? To get yourself supporting the team. Strategic austerity. Future financial strategy mandates a strict refocus on essential spending directly linked to our on-pitch success, while safeguarding critical revenue-generating initiatives. Yeah, we've got to get it right on the pitch, guys. Put bums on seats again. Especially for next season. I think if we stay in this league, next season is going to be crucial, isn't it? Because you're going to want those season tickets to maintain at a high level. Is it 11,000 we've sold this season?
The problem is, I just fear with the results the way they are, if things continue, Home Park is going to be less and less full. I think there's quite a few tickets on the ticket exchange for Saturday, so it's not going to be packed to the rafters, as they said on the pre-match stuff today on Argyle TV. Unless loads of fans have bought tickets today, I don't know. I haven't looked, but.
And you've got that waiting list, so you've got some fans on the waiting list.
You got some.
Still want to be on that waiting list.
You got over 5,000 on the waiting list, but that's not the point. You need to hold the fans that you've got, not lose them.
Yeah. The Soul 68. It's alarming how the finances have done. On 100, yeah, absolutely. 180 from the last forum. Absolutely right, mate.
Yeah, I mean the last forum when Paul Byrne did all his slides, it seemed quite positive. I think the money issues really set a lot of people back. So I wasn't expecting us to be not in difficulty, but at a loss, and maybe potentially next year cutting back on certain things.
Yeah, definitely. So cost as a consideration, the financial implications of any significant club decision, including managerial changes, are naturally evaluated, but they do not indicate our primary strategic direction. Survival as the foremost priority. Should a managerial change be unequivocally proven to materially enhance or chances of league survival, such as decision would be made regardless of immediate costs. Yeah, chopping and changing the manager is not the action, not the ideal at the moment. I think if you're going to change it, you're going to have to change it in the summer, because you change it at Christmas again, you have to wait another 2-3 weeks to appoint a new manager, and by then the window's almost closed. So you're in.
Not necessarily, because if Derek does step down, or Nance and Joe decide to give it a whack until the summer.
I mean, there is that plan B, I suppose, isn't there? Yeah.
I've got no question that if something like that happens, Nance and Derek could get more out of the current players we've got. But let's hope this Saturday we get a win, we get out of the bottom four, we jump Exeter. I think a positive result this Saturday, being out the bottom four, is hopefully, if you can't get confidence from that, you're not going to get confidence from much this season. So let's just concentrate on Saturday, getting 3 points. Amici will be fully fit. Other players will be coming back. Yes, we're going to miss Tolo. He's going to be a massive miss for the 3 games. But
Asena's capable enough, I think.
If he gets the service, he scored 5 goals this season. He has got a goal in there. It's just whether he can get goals at crucial times in games when we're on top. But time will tell.
So belief in Cleverly and the infrastructure. Current strategy focuses on providing robust support for Tom Cleverly and making crucial investments for the long-term infrastructure. Absolutely, yeah. To the best path to sustained success. Now, there was a comment that came out, I think it was after the forum finished, that Exeter have only had 2 or 3 players from their academy actually go on to better things. Ollie Watkins was one of them, and I think Ethan Ampadu was another, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
what was the other one called? Matt Grimes.
Oh yeah, Grimes. Yeah,
I think he went on to Swansea.
So there's 3 players out of their whole academy. So people will argue that if we've got an academy there.
Ooh, Andy's disappeared now. And
you're back again. Yeah, what are you doing, Carl? Come on, stop messing around. You're playing Space Invaders again, aren't you, in the background?
I'm not sure what's going on
here. So Michael Hawks has just said, one way the club saves money is to stop match day programs, which is a lot of clubs have done. And we have at Reading. Oh, right, that's interesting. So there must be a cost to making the programs. If you don't sell them, then maybe that's
interesting.
Right.
I mean, I've not bought a program for donkey's years.
I've not, to be fair.
I mean, I don't know how many we sell on a match day.
I don't know. It'd be good to have Richard Francis in. Richard Francis sell them.
I don't think the outlay is going to be that huge, I'd imagine, to make a massive dent in funds, but I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, I mean, Steve's just said we're really 12 points off the playoffs, for goodness sake. 3 wins and we're back at the table again, aren't we? We've got to get those wins, to be fair.
I think we're lucky that it's a quite bang average league, and I think the way the things are looking in the league at the minute, a couple of wins and things change. I just hope we can get them right sooner rather than later.
SM10, why does Nance always get mentioned when talking about stepping into the dugout? Yeah, he shows passion, but he is there every day with all these managers that have been and gone. Yeah, absolutely right, mate. Nance has already said that he doesn't want to manage the club. He said that quite unequivocally and clearly, that he doesn't want to manage the club. He'll play a part, and of course he is. He's Argyle through and through, he bleeds green. But to have him sort of saying, "No, Nance will jump in," yeah, I mean, he will jump in. There's no 2 ways about it. He will jump in and be there. But there was another comment coming out saying maybe Nance is part of the problem. I don't know. I don't think he is.
Anyway, at the end of the day, yes, he's been here under so many different managers, but he's not the one that's making the team selections or having the final say on things, is he?
Yeah, that's
and when we've seen when he stepped in, he's always done a great job when he's had to step in. So
Yeah. Only Cardiff at 2 points per game at the minute. Gaza Brown high. How sad we can't even afford to sack the poorest Argo manager in history. Yeah, agree. It is. We've come to that, mate, and sadly, and we haven't got the finances. If we sack Cleverly, then we have to sack his backroom staff as well. They want to go, so we'll have to pay them off as well. So it's a tricky situation. I think the best case scenario for Argyle is if Cleverly actually walked, and don't see him doing that anytime soon if he's being backed.
But in the long run, what's going to cost more, sacking Tom and his staff or relegation to League Two? I mean,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You think a sacking a manager is going to be a lot more beneficial than dropping a league? Fan base has been down to 9,000-10,000 every week. It's just it's common sense to make the other decision, isn't it?
Right, so moving on, Carl.
We should move on. We're getting there, Andy. We've been off.
We are getting there. It's the end nigh.
I've already had a text from Mike saying, "Are you still yapping?"
He's probably asleep now, Mike.
He's not even watching.
Is he not watching?
No,
but it's
terrible.
I'm never going to come to his lives again. Oh, hang on, I'm in those lives, aren't I? Right. So the summary, key takeaways from leadership. So one, recruitment failures and squad underperformance. Right. Summer recruitment was severely impacted by staff changes and a departure from the data-led approach. Despite a top 6 budget, the current squad is underperforming, necessitating a robust, experience-backed strategy for January window. Absolutely, yeah. Unwavering support for the head coach. Tom Cleverly retains full backing with additional experienced staff to join the team. Tactical adaptability in the work progress, but progress has been hampered by the ongoing injury challenges. Yeah, it's been a terrible season for injuries. I've never known a club like it to have so many injuries in one season.
Well, from going to a club which didn't really have a lot of injuries, a few years ago to, the last 2 years have been just terrible. Rooney had terrible luck with injuries. Cleverly's had the same, and there's got to be a link there. I'm sure there's a link there.
Yeah. So the January window is going to be crucial for us. So the financial realities are, while only 2 new signings are currently within the budget, this could expand with the player departures. A clear plan is in place, but its execution remains contingent on player availability when the transfer window opens. We shall see who comes in. Hallett doesn't care whether we are in League 1 or League 2. We are property and hospitality company with a footy team as a sideshow. Yeah, I think he does care, to be honest, Gaza. I spoke to him on Monday and he looked a broken man. He's a fan, and so is Paul Byrne. Paul Byrne's a fan as well, and obviously so is Derek Adams. He wouldn't be at the club if he weren't a fans. They just said, right, I'm off. I'm out of here. I'm going.
Well, if Simon's looking for investment and potentially wants to, hand the reins over, he's not going to get much money back if we're down in League 2. So yeah. I'm sure he doesn't want that to happen, but he needs to make the right decisions ASAP.
If of anything, I'll just come back to that. If anything, he stands to lose quite a lot of money if we go down to League 2. And that's a lot of money that he's put into the club, personally put into the club. So let's not forget that. I'm not going to jump on him anymore because of what he's done for this club. He's taken us as far as he can. And I think it's true to his heart that he's a fan. He doesn't want to see the club go to the tubes. And I believe that, we wouldn't want to, we supported clubs for 45 years for myself. I think Carl's about 25 years. We don't want to see our club go down the tubes. If you want to do that, that's your prerogative, but I don't want it.
Like I said, it's refreshing him slowly coming out now saying the club have got things wrong, he's got things wrong, and he's looking to put things right. But that has to be done this January, leading into next summer. Because if there's any more mistakes regarding players, staffing, then he will lie on that sword.
Yeah. So, summary of key takeaways continued. Financial headwinds. Multi-million pound losses are being covered by shareholders, but this is unsustainable. The club must now focus on essential spending directly linked with on-pitch performance, making the goal of a sustainable championship club more challenging. That is at the moment. Taking us back to where we started, yeah, but it's, to be fair, he took us to the championship, mate. So let's not forget that as well. Strategic infrastructure, Fulston Park funding was ring fenced to avoid impacting on our first team. Our robust infrastructure continues to enhance the club's attractiveness to potential investors, positioning for future growth. Right, and finally, rebuilding trust. That's the big one. That's where he's going to find it hardest, I think, because I think the trust has gone from a lot of fans, not everyone, but a lot of fans. Leadership has openly acknowledged the past poor decisions and strategic overreach. Trust will be rebuilt through more rigorous, data-led, and accountable decision making. And you've got to be on the same song sheet. I said that earlier on the same song sheet. You're doing well as a club, aren't you? Okay, Carl, on to the next one, mate. So, where we are and what went wrong. So, the reality check is frank assessment of our current position, and then the factors that led us here. So, rapid decline from the mid-table championship to a League One side relegation battle in just 12 months. Systematic failure, structures, process, and recruitment standards ended to an unmanaged rapid change, unbalanced squad. Summer recruitment resulted as poorly balanced team, collective responsibility acknowledged. Yeah, so we've talked about that. They put their hands up to that. Underperformance. The current squad currently is significantly below the expectations for a top 6 League One budget. Absolutely right. They put their hands up to that as well. Fixes already underway. So this is where the hope comes in, guys. So bear with us here. Proactive steps have been taken to stabilize the club and to drive it future improvement. New leadership structure, CEO Paul Byrne focused on the financial discipline and organizational clarity of the club. Director of football Derek Adams is overseeing recruitment and men's football strategy. And the head coach Tom Cleverley receiving full support and not replacement. That is clear from the club at the minute. Recruitment reset, tighter processes, integrating data, scouting and season judgment. January plan, at least 2 additions, possibly with further scope based on player departures or loans. Anything to add to that, Carl?
No, well, let's just hope that the fixes that have been made up until now start improving things. Like I said earlier, I think Derek Adams has had some effects. I think we have seen some of that in some of the games so far, and I hope we can take another step forward on Saturday. I would have felt a bit more confident with Talai leading the line on Saturday. I'm just struggling to see where the goals are going to come from, but it's a perfect opportunity for Aseni to step in, stake his claim for the next 3 games, potentially more. And other guys, people like Patterson, Owen Dale. Owen Dale's had a few opportunities, but not really capitalising on them. Patterson had a really good, strong second half. Leyton Orient. Again, Tegan Finn, whether he gets much game time or not, I don't know. But as soon as he came on the pitch within 5 minutes, he's looking to do things. He had a shot which was unlucky. Does other people need to step up to the plate in these next these 3 games? And before we know it, obviously Talai will be back, and hopefully aid us on our climb up the table. But Bradford's form over the last 5 games, they've only won 1 game, so. Yes, they might be third up in the table, but recently they haven't been as great. So,
yeah, but
it's probably a good time to play
lightly,
Yeah,
not to be taken lightly. Where's Elliot now? Interested to see his club's injury record. He was at Stoke City last time I heard, Andrew, but I don't know whether he's still there now or not.
pass.
So we've just done that one, haven't we? So let's move on to the next one. We've done that one. Yeah. So where are we and what went wrong? So the reality check, rapid decline from mid to. We've just done that one, I think, haven't we? Yeah.
No, that's
It's the same wording.
It's the same wording. I'm not sure what Michael's done there. Then.
All right, Mike, what have you done there?
What have you done?
Tell he's not right, can't you? Tell he's not right.
Anyway, shall we move on to Gavin?
We'll move on because we are now an hour and 43, and we're looking at Saturday's game. Here
Argyle
is
v
one
Northampton.
job.
That's the wrong one. As Mike.
So,
Mike's got the wrong teams in here.
Where's he?
That's Argyle v Northampton.
That's Northampton. Mike, you put the wrong teams in, mate. For Northampton.
Anyway,
normal service will be resumed as soon as possible, people. We have got Bradford on Saturday, not Northampton. We just lost to them. So, any thoughts on a team for Saturday?
You go first, mate.
on your
I
WhatsApp?
have got my team in hand. I mean, I think it's slightly changed now because I think Belarus is still out.
Yes,
injured. So, I mean, for me, I would revert back to Ashby Hammond. I think he deserves another shot in goal. I thought he was quite positive on Tuesday. Clean sheet will do him the world of good. Did a couple of good saves. Distribution was decent. I just don't think Hazard's been. I mean, not a lot of the goals have been his fault. So that's one thing to look at it. But I just think we looked more stable with Ashby Hammond when he started to pick up some form. So I would like to see him back in goal again. Obviously, Joe Edwards to start alongside Ross and Pleggy. I did originally put Belarus, but obviously he's out injured, so I'll probably go with Galloway there. I don't think Sorinola's done brilliantly in the league of late, although he was good on Tuesday. I think the wingers at the moment kind of pick themselves in Patterson and Dale, because obviously Amichi's not going to start. He'll probably get the last 20 or 30 minutes if we need a goal. And then I would like to keep Wiredu in centre midfield. I think it's a perfect chance now for him to stake his claim in midfield. I thought he was okay on Tuesday. Alongside Joe Rawls, I don't think I would want to go for Boateng. I don't think he's been as good of late, and I think we need some experience in there in Joe if he's fit. And I think Wiredu deserves another shot in there. So, and then up front, I've gone for Aseni, which obviously that's the only thing we can do at the moment. Up there with kind of Tegan Finn, but I don't think that's the team I would like to see. Whether Tom goes for that personally, I don't know. But yeah, that's my team. What about you?
No, I'm trying to think which is Gavin's team. There is yours got Ashby Hammond at the top.
Yeah.
Right, so Gav's is the other one. So I'm going to look at Gav's team, right, and he is chosen, right. So Ashby Hammond in goal, Joe Edwards at right back, Sorinola, Mitchell and Ross as the back four, Patterson, Joe Rawls, Wiredu and Dale in the midfield, and Aseni and Finn up front. So pretty much the same as yours, 4-4-2 he's gone. I quite like the idea of 4-4-2, and I like the idea of Finn playing out there as well. I think it's more or less the same team as you've got, actually, mate. To be fair, apart from Belarus, yeah, Belarus is your change, wouldn't it? Like the idea of Patterson back there. Edwards is going to be chomping at the bit to get in there and starting again. Sorinola played well on Tuesday night. Had a good game.
I just don't think having Aseni up there on his own.
No, you've got to have someone
a good option because the way we're playing at the minute, we seem to be doing quite a few long balls, and I don't think he's that type of striker that would. You know, if he's up there trying to hold the ball up, who's he going to lay it off to? I think he needs some support up there, but whether that would be with Tegan Finn or not, it remains to be seen. But just give the boy a go. You know, there's a reason why we tied him down. He's a massive talent, and from whatever games I've seen him in, whether that's the Virtue or the league when he's been given the opportunity, or even on Tuesday when he came on, he looked quite bright. Just give the boy a run.
Yeah, I just wonder whether he's going to actually try Amici up there with Aseni as opposed to Tegan, and then bring Tegan on for the second half.
He won't start. He won't start Amici. He's already said that. Amici's not available to start, and it'd be ludicrous just to come in from the start if he's not played for months on end. He'll probably get the last 20 minutes.
He didn't have Pleggy in there. No one's got Pleggy in their team either. What's going on?
I've got Pleggy in my team.
Yeah, Gavin hasn't.
No, Gavin didn't. No.
He's got Ross and Mitchell. So and Pleggy. Would you have him in place of Mitchell? I don't know.
Definitely. He's our best defender.
Okay.
He's 100% fit according to Cleverly, and it's just up to him to make that decision between him and the medical team. But no, I think Pleggy would be banging on Cleverly's door about starting the game. So no, I think Pleggy and Ross are our best two centre backs, to be honest.
And that might G the players up a bit, because now there's competition for places again, because you've got players coming back into the team who could influence positions.
Well, he's a big character. He's a leader as well, isn't he? So he's been there for a few years now. He knows the club inside out. So no, I think he brings a bit of calm and stability back there. I'm just not sure on the left back role whether it's Galloway or Sorinola at the moment. But
yeah, I mean, I think Sorinola for me. I think Sorinola had a good game on Tuesday. He did okay. More like the Matty Sorinola we all know and love. Is running at players again and putting the ball across for the goal, of course. So yeah. Any more that we can think of, guys? Let's go to the comments. We've only had 2 comments come in since. Where does deserve to start in centre midfield? Yeah. 4-4-1-1, Ashby Hammond, Edwards, Pleggy, Mitchell, Sorinola, Dale, Rawls, Wiradoo, Patterson, Finn, Alseni. And I think I pretty much think that's all we've got, Carl, isn't it? Any prediction for Saturday, mate?
Prediction. I want to be positive. I mean, my heart says one thing, my head says the other. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay. You're going to hate me for this. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Bradford win. I can't see us winning at the moment. I might be wrong.
Like I said, losing Talai is
going to be
massive, considering he scored our last 5 goals.
But maybe a step up in luck. I'd hope so.
Hopefully.
Guys, I think we're coming to the end of this now. We've done well tonight. Thanks for everyone who's dropped in tonight, and those listening tomorrow or whenever you want to listen. It's been good to have you on tonight, Carl. Thanks for coming in and helping out.
No worries. We do apologise the Crazy Pilgrim wasn't here. I'm sure all of you have joined to see his lovely, pretty face, and you've ended up with our ugly mugs.
Steve's gone for 2-1. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think we're going to say goodnight. But thanks for dropping in.
Thanks for joining
Make sure you join us on Saturday for the evening show after the match on Saturday. And if you want to subscribe to us, please subscribe to the Block 9 podcast on YouTube and give us a follow on X as well. Other than that, good night, guys, and God bless you.
And we'll see you Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.